All right, Wesley, thank you for being here.
Dude.
This is our first episode back at school, which is sick.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm so excited. I couldn't even sleep last night.
Yeah, 3 hours,
Dude, I slept 3 hours.
which is great.
It's awesome.
What were you doing?
What was I doing? I was at the Massey. I was doing pre-calculus, academic weapon.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Did you ace the pre-calc?
No, I couldn't finish the test.
Okay.
But I had so much fun prepping for it.
Why do they make music people do math?
Well, when you're doing like front of house at the Ryman, the audience frequently asks you, what's the symbiotic y equals mx equation? And you're like, I know what that is.
So that's why.
That's why. That's what I was told.
Did they actually ask you? They don't.
No,
ask
they
you
don't
that.
ask you that.
That was funny.
I don't
though.
know,
That was
but
a funny
I
joke.
think it's physics. You have to know physics.
Why?
Sound physics.
Sound physics.
Mhm.
I guess what is your major?
Audio engineering.
Okay,
Technology.
so you do need to know that.
I do have to know
probably.
that, yeah.
Okay. So you are a musician. You play guitar. You sing.
I do.
I like your music a lot.
Thank you, dude.
Some people don't. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, jury's still out.
Yeah, but getting into music, everyone has their journey. Like I had my journey. It was starting drums, playing drums at church, wanting to do that,
Yeah.
learning how to do that, working my way into getting on the worship team.
Yeah,
Now I play drums for whoever, whatever.
absolutely.
For you, how did you get started? How did you get started in music? Was it singing first? Was it guitar first? And also why? Why did you do it?
And that's a great question. So, you know, this is the Solomon podcast. We're gonna get a little personal.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in 4th grade, I was diagnosed with depression pretty early for that. So I was doing like therapy, and they're trying to fix whatever was going on, and they didn't do a very good job. But there was a school of rock right across the street from like where I was doing therapy, and so I started going there and just taking drum lessons when I was like 10, and pretty soon it was crazy because I didn't like have to do like therapy or anything because I was just going to School of Rock a couple times a week, and that was like more than enough. And then I started doing the bands there, and I started playing bass, and then I started doing guitar, and I met a lot of my really good friends even today, and I did School of Rock for I think like 7 years. So
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
When did you want to take that from just like a hobby or something that helped you into like trying to pursue it as a career? Because now you
Yeah.
do like a whole, like you have an EP coming out, you're doing
Yeah.
all this stuff. So when did it switch from like this is a hobby to something I'm taking seriously?
Yeah, I mean, I never really questioned it. When I was in high school, I was producing a lot of music, just making it, and that was the only thing. I have like crazy ADHD, so I was like, that was the only thing I could sit down and do for like 6 hours, and like I didn't even blink, It was just that, and it was the thing I had the most fun doing with my friends, and so it was a natural progression to come to Belmont, and then coming here and seeing everyone playing around Nashville, it was super inspiring and moving, and I was like, this is what I need to do, and it kind of lit a little fire inside of me, and I was like I have to pursue this, like no matter what. And here we are at the top of the world.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has that thing where they really want to. Whatever the thing is that motivates them, that gets them to that like hyper focused state, especially ADHD people, like because we can. Like, whatever the thing is that we like, we can't lock in on cleaning our room, but we can lock in
big time.
like, so big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, so that's interesting, because a lot of people I see have, like, a role model, or, like, they see, like, some artist that's, like, a influence for them. Do you have any artists that are, like, big influences for you and your sound or playing?
Yeah. I mean, definitely it's changed throughout the years. A lot of my teachers, like when I was a kid playing drums, and they'd say, I played a show this weekend in Denton, Texas with my band. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And so a lot of that, and I still keep in contact with a lot of them and just send them my music or just say what's up. So yeah, the teachers have definitely been a huge kind of role model for me.
How has your mental health affected, because you talked about battling with depression, how has that affected the way you make music or play music?
Yeah, I mean, I think and this is probably not true, but I think that like to really make music something that's like spiritual, like you have to be kind of fucked up. Like I don't think there are a lot of wildly successful artists out there that haven't dealt with that. I mean, you look at actors or comedians or singers or guitar players or composers, whatever, you know, they all had something going on. I mean,
yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that it has like everything to do with it. None of my songs could have been written without being super sad about something or just feeling super weird about something. It's an outlet, and it's, I think, one of the only ways to share how you're feeling with the world that's socially acceptable.
Yeah. I always wonder about this. Like, I think about Taylor Swift, and she has like all these different stories of the heartbreak stuff. Like, I wonder if she ever like put herself in situations purposefully, knowing that she would like get a song out of it. Have you ever done that, or like thought about doing that because you needed like a song or something?
You know, I think I've definitely been guilty of that, consciously or you know, or not. Definitely heartbreak is like a big one, because you hear these people like Jason Isbell, I mean, one of the best songwriters ever, and he wrote that last record all about his ex-wife, and some of the lines in there are just so jarring, and you know, it's kind of like what we were saying earlier, like that wouldn't have been possible without that heartbreak. So I think I've definitely made some less than ideal decisions, just because I know like it's gonna build like my story, and that's just gonna help me create better.
That's kind of really cool, because I think a lot of people, non-musicians, just like people, want to view their failures as like, this is like a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I'm learning right now in this entrepreneurship class that I'm in, and this is something I kind of already knew, but we're really like talking about it. And it's weird hearing a bunch of people talk about failures as like a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think like for musicians, or songwriters, it's like what would be a failed relationship or something that goes bad, like something that's bad. You're alchemizing it. You're turning this coal, this useless thing, into gold. You're turning something bad into good.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. In everything, turning our problems, viewing them not as a problem, but as like a present, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I couldn't have put it better. That's definitely how it is.
Yeah. No, but because people live with a lot of guilt about bad stuff that happens, or like a failed relationship, or whatever it is. But viewing it as like, how can I use this as a tool? Like, some people use it as like, I'm going to use this pain as motivation to do something really good.
Yeah.
And like, some guys get really jacked, or whatever it is, like they start a gym arc, or it's like, I'm going to write a killer album, or I'm going to whatever, learn from this and have a way better relationship, rather than being like, this is the worst thing ever that happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be sad.
Yeah. That perspective shift can, I mean, lead to infinite creativity. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the best songs ever written were all from a place of pain. At least I don't ever listen to a song where the singer's talking about the best, like what's that Queen song that the drummer wrote about his car? I'm in love with my car. Have you heard that one?
No.
I'm not gonna listen to that song, and I'm sure it's fine, but like, that's a super dumb thing to write a song about. And I mean, I guess if that's what he was feeling, that's great. But like, you know, it's like stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
it's almost gimmicky. But if you get down to like the nitty gritty of, you know, your emotions, whether they're good or bad, that's what drives it, and that's what makes the good stuff.
Yeah. Who are some of your, or let me ask you this: what's your favorite album right now?
My favorite record right now? Sorry.
Whatever. I don't know what a record is. What's a record? Is it the same thing as an album?
I guess so.
Okay.
It's more fun to say record.
It sounds like sophisticated.
I know.
And cool.
I feel really cool.
Like, this is my favorite record.
Yeah, this is my favorite vinyl. Right now, I've got a couple, but there's a guy in Nashville. His name's Jack Van Cleef, and he just put out his sophomore record, JVC, And I think it's just incredible. The songwriting and the production on all of it. I've never heard anything like it, and it doesn't fit into the big alt country boom that's happening, but it's kind of a subtle nod to it. So yeah, JVC is definitely my favorite one right now. And there's like classics too. I mean, shit, I don't even know, but yeah, there's so many that I go back and forth from, but that's been on repeat for a while.
Do you have any artists that you like know no matter what they're gonna come out with like a banger, or like someone that you think is like a classic?
Yeah, and it's kind of a weird take, but I think that whatever Justin Bieber comes out with next, and I know that sounds horrible, but I think that, and I might not like it. Like, I didn't even listen to the last one. I've heard some of it, but guys like him, I think, are natural born creatives.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to a point of success where it doesn't matter how much money you make anymore, it doesn't matter how much more fame you can get, I think you can be completely unlocked to your creative potential. And so what he just made something with Dijon, right?
Dijon
or McGee. Yeah. And McGee, like, you know, that's a guy that's making like new sounds. And when Justin Bieber gets on that stuff, like he does not caring about making another hit. He's already done that. So he's in a headspace just of making something that he wants to make.
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of artist that I think about when I'm like, this guy's not going to make anything bad, because it's all going to be, from here on out, it's all going to be inspired, unless it's, you know,
or whatever he's finding cool, which he already has the taste to do that. So like whatever he finds cool, that's what's gonna come out of it. And I do think it's really cool that like Dijon and like these younger guys who are kind of doing other like new stuff. Like I don't really know an artist who sounds like Dijon. I don't know an artist who sounds like McGee.
Definitely not.
And these guys like coming out with stuff where people like Justin Bieber are listening to it, seeing it, and being like, I want that. Or like even Jesse Wells. I love that guy.
Yes. 100%. Yeah.
He's really cool.
He's super good. And like MJ Linderman, like all those guys, and even like the early like Phoebe Bridgers stuff, like all that was a completely new sound that they did.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that Jack Van Cleef record, because I think these people, like, they put out enough music and maybe it doesn't take off and they're like, fuck it, this is my last hurrah, I'm gonna make what I want to make. And then they make something that's just so awesome. Like, I think of like Emily, I'm Sorry, from Boy Genius, or like You Are Every Girl to Me, MJ Linderman. Songs like that, or even like Fingers and Clothes, like the Jake Minch song. Like they didn't have to be made. Like there's no commercial pressure to make those songs. These are people that just, they made this and they just put it out just so it could be out. And that's the kind of thing that gets picked up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a pattern in a way of like when people make something that's really just something that they feel like is a thing that they can make. Like I just went and saw the Jeff Buckley documentary.
Yeah.
And he's like, he didn't want to put out a second album, and he didn't. And he came out with his first record because it was stuff that he like. Yeah. He honestly felt pressured by the record company to do that. He did that. He ended up coming out with it. It was a crazy hit, and it's like one of the most famous albums.
What, he was pressured to come out with Grace?
With the first album, yeah. And because he like had a couple good songs that people really liked, and then they were like, all right, we need an album. He did the album, rushed it out there, got it out there, went on tour. He was touring for a really long time, and then they're like, we need a second album. Yeah. And then he died. What do you think about that? What do you think about? Do you think he died, or do you think he was killed? There's a theory out there.
Well, I don't know anything about it, but from what I have heard, I think Jeff Buckley was one of those people that knew more spiritually and like universally than most people will ever know or could comprehend. And I know that, like, one of my friends was just telling me how he was, I don't know, I guess he like was telling people that, you know, he's like, I'm about to die. Like, this is it's almost my time.
Yeah, he called everyone in his phone. which is so weird.
But it's stuff like that like, I don't think he was like, I don't know what happened to him, but I don't know if it even matters what happened to him.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of guy that's so spiritually connected that he just knows like that kind of thing. He's okay with it. You know, he's let go of the ego of it all, and he's like, this is my next step spiritually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are people who they have this thing about them where they're like kind of not people because they have this like spirit in them, like Bob Dylan. Like Bob Dylan, I wonder if the movie is accurate. The Great Unknown or whatever it was called. Complete Unknown. Yeah. And he's like saying this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. But I'm like listening to it, and I was big into like Hermeticism, which is like this weird.
Enlighten me.
Yeah, it's like there's this guy named Hermes Trismegistus. Okay. And he's like ancient Egypt.
Sweet
guy, and people think, well, he's in the Bible. He's Melchizedek in the Bible.
Okay.
Melchizedek was this king that in the Bible people think was Jesus, but like pre-Jesus.
Okay.
Okay. And Abraham was like obsessed with Melchizedek.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to butcher this because I don't fully remember.
I'm here for it.
So his name was Hermes. And then Hermes is also like a Greek god.
Yeah.
Where he was like a messenger god, so he was here to like put messages down.
Yeah.
And they think that he was like the king of Atlantis when Atlantis was still above water or something.
Okay.
Which I don't. There's this whole thing. You should read the book. You should also listen to my podcast with Robert Edward Grant because he actually explains it way better than I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Cool.
But first finish this episode and then listen to that. But anyway, but they have this thing where they're like, there's some like thing on them, like they have this like Messiah type thing.
Yeah.
Like Bob Dylan had that where he had this like like there's no way some random guy from I think he was from Jersey, right? Or something. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This random guy who is just like a kid has all these deep spiritual wisdoms.
Yeah. I totally know what you're saying.
And
I wonder if it's like, if it's something that we all have, but it's clouded, and some people are just born with less cloud, or if it really is like some people are just born with more of a gift, to see through the cloud.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I think I think people don't want to tap into it, or they don't want to they don't want to sacrifice what it takes to do the things that help you tap into it.
What would be an example of a sacrifice?
I see in a friend of mine who has the thing.
Okay.
Or at least what I think is the thing. And he just he's not on his phone. He doesn't plug into anything. He's just like, boredom is really important to him. And he just spends a lot of time thinking about stuff, reading stuff. He reads a ton. And through that, he gets like these like downloads of stuff.
Like mentally.
Yeah. And he'll like come to weird conclusions on things that he's never thought about, read about, anything like that. And then he'll come to me and ask me stuff, and he'll be like, hey, do you know a book about this? And I'll be like, yeah, I do. And it's from like a guy who's very similar to him, and they like it's like this weird interconnected thing, and it all has to do with like Hermeticism and these weird like patterns and vibrations and pyramids and all this stuff. And it's all like interconnected, and it's really fascinating. Yeah. So I don't know. I think boredom is super important in general. Just purposefully spending time to be bored.
That's okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when you tap into these things. Because we're not spending time thinking about stuff.
Yeah, we spend so much time trying to escape thinking about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and in that we're just like receiving other people's thoughts. And that's why like all the news headlines are the same, because everyone's just we all are like, everyone wants the same thing, so we're all thinking about the same thing. But yeah, I don't know, I just think like we're all digesting our own, not our own thoughts. We're just like, TikTok is all just, especially when it comes to like the news and politics and stuff.
Yeah.
We're all just like trusting that what other people are saying, the way that other people think about stuff, is going to be right. But we're not coming to our own conclusion. Wesley's conclusion on something, on any political issue, any issue in general, is so important. And the world needs that. The same way the world needs Wesley's music. But Wesley's not going to come to that conclusion if he's listening to someone else's conclusion. He's listening to Candace Owens, and Candace Owens is telling him how to think.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think that our perspectives are a product of everything that we've observed, which is other people's perspectives?
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I also think that there's a difference between Candace Owens. She's biased. She has her own opinions. She has her own things of what she's doing. The same way with someone on the left would be biased and be thinking that.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? I don't know.
Like Hassan Piker. That's one of the guys. He's weird. But anyway.
Dean Withers. That's the guy I was thinking about.
Dean Withers. Yeah. So they're all biased because they all have, like, they're in a reward cycle. Like, if they say stuff a certain way and say certain things, talk about certain 100%. Things a certain way, they get money, they get rewarded. Yeah. And it's for being how they actually think about something, but they're still being rewarded for it.
Yeah.
But that's different than, like, in the 1800s when you get a newspaper and you read an article about something of 100%. Sarah S. Jane wrote an article about this thing, and then you're coming to a conclusion being like, oh, how do I feel about this tragedy that happened? Yeah. Do I agree with it? Do I think it's bad? Do I think it's good?
Yeah.
I think that's different. And that people are being like, okay, I'm listening to X, Y, and Z, and I'm getting my thoughts from them versus you reading something objectively or experiencing something. Even the way people experience a thing, they think so differently on it.
Yeah, that's such an interesting point. And we're in a day and age where we're just constantly surrounded by, like, so much media that's all trying. I mean, everything that we consume is trying to get us to think a certain way. You know, it's all based on shifting your perspective. So it's almost like, you know, your unbiased, like, uninfluenced perspective, like, the definition of that has changed. Yeah. Because you know, some guy living in the mountains that only gets newspapers, like, that doesn't really exist anymore.
No.
You know, the most stripped down perspective somebody can have is still wildly influenced by all the media and advertisements that we consume.
Yeah. And maybe it's important to still be biased because that's kind of, like, our own bias is important within ourselves, like how we think about stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think, I don't know. I'm not sure about it yet because I just see a lot of people right now. They are thinking thoughts that I don't think normal people would usually think.
What do you mean by that?
Like, right now with what people are doing with Charlie Kirk, like the way that they're saying that he's...
Yes.
Like, hatred for someone who is killed.
Yeah,
and, like,
I know what you're saying.
Defaming a dead man. That's not something usually that, like, if you think about, how pure humans are and how they feel for people, like, anyone who thinks about someone who is, like, killed in the way that he was.
Our perspectives have been, or some people's perspectives have been so skewed by what we experience that it is completely jacked up.
The way that they view humanity.
What's that?
The way that it's jacked up the way they view humanity.
Yeah.
So that's what I wonder is, like, how do we get back to, because some people will always think that way. Some people do think that way.
Yeah,
and those are people that are a little cuckoo. Not a little cuckoo, a lot cuckoo.
Decently cuckoo.
Yeah, definitely. Like, how many cuckoos would you say?
On a scale of, like, 1 to 10, I'd give it, like, a 7.
Okay, like 6 or 7?
I'd say, like, 6 or 7.
Okay, yeah. But that's... I don't know. I just think figuring out a way to get back to that place would be good. I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, so you're kind of seeing it like we need to revert back to that. When I think about, and I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do this, but when I think about that stuff, I'm usually trying to think about how we can adapt to where we are now and how can we utilize, you know, the cards that we've been dealt. I mean, because I think the truth is that there's never going to be a way to go backwards. I think everyone, like, you can grow, but you know, I think just the ways that we are can never fully be reversed. There's always going to be an impact of those situations on the future, and I don't think we can ever completely go back. So I think learning to live with what we're dealing with now and trying to figure out how we can change that and evolve that is more important and more realistic than just setting the clock back. But
that makes sense.
I don't think there's a right answer.
No, I agree with that. I do think that can be, I think that's where depression comes in to the equation.
What do you mean by that?
So I view, or at least for myself, I view anxiety as like we're trying to change the future, which is something you can't control.
Tell me more. I'm so like, what do you mean?
Okay, so for me, anxiety is I am trying to change something in the future or trying to make something happen in the future. And through that, I worry about that and try to do that.
Your anxiety is your future.
I think anxiety is future-based for the most part. It's worrying about stuff. And then depression is trying to change things that happened in the past. That's what it is, at least for me. It's like kind of like...
Yeah, okay.
Being depressed is like, oh, I really wish this wouldn't have happened. Yeah. I feel very depressed because I'm trying to change something. Yeah. Or wish that something would have changed in the past. And then anxiety on the other side is worrying and trying to change or make something happen in the future in a way that causes stress. So both of those, I think that's kind of where they come from. So I get where you're saying, like, we're trying to go back to the past is only going to lead to disappointment.
Yeah. I think we can get lost on our journey, our attempt to go backwards. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. How has God played a role in your life? Does he play a role at all?
That's such a question. What's God? Like, what is
God to you? Everyone defines it differently. See, to me, God is the result of I don't want to be the highest form of intelligence in the world. So there has to be something greater than me. What is that? Okay, so there are different religions that point to a God. Okay, which one is the most, like, logically makes the most sense? Yeah. Even though none of it makes sense. But which one out of all the things that don't make sense, which one makes the most sense? Yeah. And I've kind of decided upon Christianity because that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I got you.
But I feel like maybe God is this being that went to all different types of people all around the world. And because we're all different people, we all interpreted it differently, and that's why we have different religions. So different strokes for different folks.
Dude, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, and I love that. And that's like that. I love that question. Yeah, I'm somebody who feels a lot, and I feel so strongly, like, internally about things that from the outside I feel like I shouldn't. Like, and I can't even give, like, a good example, but I've met people that I just feel this isn't, love or lust or whatever. I've met people that I feel so strongly about, and it's not one emotion. It's just you feel so connected to them, and they've told me things that have just made me cry. And I mean, in the last year, like, it's so weird. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, I don't feel like I cry very often.
Yeah.
I wish I cried more, but, like, I think the only time that, like, I've really, like, felt that was, some of my close friends, like, talking about the spiritual stuff. Mm-hmm. And to me, God is the umbrella that falls under. To me, there's something inside of all of us that makes us feel a certain way, and there are things that happen, and there are connections that are felt, and we, like you said, we've all interpreted that different ways. Mm-hmm. And throughout history, people have established right and wrong ways to interpret that feeling in those connections. And a lot of times I think it's easier to trust that. Now, I feel really confident just in how I feel and how the emotions that I experience around spirituality and the connections with other souls that I have no doubts about those feelings. And to me, that's what we all call God, no matter how you want to describe it. And I know that was kind of rambly a little bit.
No, that makes sense.
That's the only way I can describe it.
I haven't really heard someone ever put it that way, but that was really beautiful. Yeah.
Dude, that's the word on the street, you know?
That's the word on the street.
Yeah. My my dad is a super spiritual person. And I haven't met anyone else that I've only met one or two other people that are as spiritually connected as he is. And I think for that reason, I really respect his views on God and religion and spirituality and how that plays into culture and people's belief systems. And yeah, one of the things that he's talked to me about is people having this conversation. What is God?
Yeah.
And it's people argue, you know, God is this, God is this, God wants this. People use the term God as a common denominator in a conversation about spirituality when it means something completely different to everyone.
Yeah.
And I just think that's such an interesting perspective that people talk about God. You know, I've gone to I was in a relationship for a long time, and I went to church with this girl a lot. And obviously at that church everyone viewed God in a similar way, and I didn't. But in that setting, I was still talked to, of course, because I'm in the audience with these other people.
Yeah.
As if the meaning of God is a universal thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we're all getting caught up on, and that's such a dividing factor.
Yeah. I think I don't know what the answer is, because for a while I battled with that and being like, how do people fit into this who say that it's different? Like, should everyone fit into it?
Fit into what?
Fit into a religion, believe in God, certain things about God.
Yeah.
Or is it all just like, is it individual? Which I kind of do see, like the way my dad does medicine, like the way he practices medicine is different than the way that conventional medicine is. What conventional medicine is, what religion is, but for our bodies. It's, if you're having these symptoms, these are the solutions.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's everyone, one size fits all. You need this dose, you need this amount. Whereas my dad does labs, and he does like blood work and all these different things, and then does the labs, sees what actually is wrong in Wesley.
Yeah.
Finds what's wrong in Wesley, and then gives Wesley what he needs to fix himself.
Fascinating.
And
I never thought about it like that.
I think that that's where maybe religion might get it wrong. I don't know.
Get it? What do you mean by that? Like, do you think that,
like, religion is one size fits all in certain ways, but also I think God, I think people have less faith in God than they should, because I think God, I believe that God will meet you right where he needs to meet you. Like, you, where you need him, he'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Even when you aren't, like, I think God's with kind of with everyone, whether they want it or not. Like, whether they're there or not. I don't know.
Yeah, just the way I see it, instead of God and us being a one-on-one, I definitely see God and the universe as something synonymous, as an all-encompassing umbrella. And it's, you'll hear maybe an atheist say, you know, it is what it is. What happens just happens. There's no rhyme or reason. And I honestly, I think that we're all saying the same thing. Like, it's so hard to explain, but I feel like there's an umbrella, and that's what God is.
Yeah.
And that's what fuels everything, and whether there's a rhyme or reason for it.
Yeah.
It's almost like saying that power is too big to comprehend. So, that's why an atheist might say that there's nothing. But
yeah, I think a lot of atheism is also reactionary. It's like people are hurt. They're either hurt directly or they see people that are hurt by religion and then they choose to go a different way. And that's kind of why it was started or founded.
Yeah, almost like a rebellious thing.
In like a rebellion type of thing. So either they were hurt specifically by someone in the church and then they were like, I'm going to run away from this.
Or yeah, I mean, even if it's not that like severe of a thing, like even if it's just a kid running away from religion because his parents want him to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
some sort of rebellion. Yeah, that's a really good distinction. Yeah. And I think that's what it is, because if you look at like even tribes in the middle of nowhere, there's no atheists in those places where like they're not in contact to anything. Everyone believes in God, or gods plural.
Yeah.
They're always fascinated with
everyone
something bigger than
recognizes
us.
this thing.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
Right?
I think it's really awesome.
I think it's crazy.
And I think it's fun to talk about. My dad uses this analogy, and it's kind of a meme amongst my friends at this point because they all just make fun of me for talking about it over and over again.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. God is this diamond, right?
Okay.
And we're all in different positions around the diamond, and we're all looking at it from a different angle. And the way that light hits a diamond is we all see a different color. Like, you might see yellow, I see red. Yeah. And some people see the same color, though. And those people group up together because they're like, okay, me and Wesley, we see the same color. We're both seeing red. Yeah. God is red. And then we go away. We go do our own thing. And sometimes we kind of miss the whole diamond, and we actually miss God because we go off and say red, and then we see the blue team over there, and we're like, your God's wrong, bro. Our God is red. Your God is blue. That's not right. Red is the way to go.
Yeah, and you turn away from the diamond altogether.
Yeah, and then we're too busy fighting about what color it is when that's not even what it's about.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome analogy, and I totally agree. I'm not a religious person at all, but I would say I'm really spiritual. And I mean, just like what you said, the like tribes in the middle of the jungle, or
they all recognize it.
There's always something. Like it's at least I haven't heard about an isolated group of people that just don't believe anything.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something else to that. Like maybe there's another answer to, maybe there's another reason behind that. But it makes sense to me that we all recognize that there's something and just express that and grab onto that in different ways.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, I kind of want to pivot.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this EP. So
let's do it.
What's it called?
Yeah, it's called Worst of It.
Worst of It.
Yep.
Okay. How many songs are on it? 5 songs.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was the inspiration behind them? If you kind of want to give maybe like a run through of what's going on, because I'll have this timed out to where it releases. So it'll be out at this time. So you'll be like, album or EP is out. Yeah. People can go listen to it. So first of all, where should they listen to it?
Anywhere you stream your music.
Okay, wonderful.
Dude, this is like Hot Ones without the chicken.
This is without the chicken. Exactly.
This is like Hot Ones without the chicken.
Kinda.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Continue on.
Okay, so go for the EP. Tell me what's the inspiration behind it. What started it? What was it like making it? Dude,
yeah, I was just tired of not doing shit. So being so for real, like I've spent so many years making music and like pouring my heart and soul into it. And like I said earlier, this summer I was like, I'm hungry for whatever is out there that I'm here to latch onto. And I stayed here over the summer and I was like, I wrote it down. I was like, I'm going to have an EP out by my birthday, which didn't happen, but it is like I'm doing it.
You're doing
so
it.
I'm not a bitch.
ADHD just had like a couple month buffer.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to wrangle like a producer and a mastering engineer and myself and then session players and an artist and then get that all done. But point being, I was just tired of not doing anything, and I was like, at the risk of sounding like a douche, like my music is important enough to me, and I think it appears to be valuable enough to other people that the world should hear it.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's just time to quit being a bitch and just put it out there. So I begged my parents. I was like, I need to like, I have like a really good friend and he's like the best producer ever, and his name's Aiden Rex.
Yeah. Plug.
And yeah, I was like, I need to go like record these 5 songs with them. And so they were like, fine. And yeah, I spent all summer and I wrote these songs, and I mean, some of the songs are ass, but the idea behind it was just that I needed to do it, and I needed to write these songs that were emotional to me and meant a lot, and said what I can't say to my friends because I already say it to my therapist. Like, and so that's kind of where it comes from.
Sweet.
That's the idea behind it.
Did you have fun while you were making it?
Dude, I had a lot of fun when I was making it.
That's good.
I had a lot of fun.
What's your, like, if you think about it, what's your end goal with music? Like, where do you envision yourself being?
Yeah.
Like, at the end. Like, what do you want to be? Because some people want to be, like, a songwriter for artists, or some people want to be an artist. What do you envision yourself being?
And, like, I have, like, a horrible twisted answer to that. Like, I don't think anyone... Maybe some people know what they want to be, but nobody knows what they are going to be. But like, I know what I am supposed to do, just gut wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
And like, I know that I will sacrifice everything in my life to do what I need to do, and I don't know where that's gonna put me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna fucking do it, like,
Sweet.
No matter what. And I won't. There's no budging, and like I said, I don't know where that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, that path, if you want to call it God's path or whatever, like, that might make me homeless, like hanging out at Centennial Park 5 years from now. I hope it doesn't, but like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because like I'm here to make music and go hang out at the Underdog and steal their liquid deaths all night. Like, that's what I'm like here to do.
Yeah.
And that's like, so I don't know where it's going to end up, but I know I'm just going to keep doing that because that feels right.
That's sweet. Yeah. That's awesome. And that's inspirational for people who are like trying to pursue their own dreams.
Yeah.
Because you have a very realistic view on it. You're like, yeah, it could be awesome, and I could be a huge, big deal, or I could be nothing, but at least I'm following my dreams. Yeah,
and I think it's definitely different for everybody, but for me, it's not about a dream or about an end goal at all. I think a lot of people, I mean, everyone is so pressured to find a purpose and a meaning. What do I need to do while I'm here? And I'm sure for some people that is a goal. That is, I want to be a famous basketball player or whatever. I don't even know. But like, for me, it's about the journey. It's not about the end goal. For me, my purpose, and I'm under the assumption this is everyone's purpose, is just to follow like what feels right, and that will guide you to that end goal, whatever it is.
That's very interesting, because I'm actually not that way. I'm very much an end goal person. Okay, yeah. I like have like, this is where I want to be. Yeah. This is where I am now, and I work my way backwards and do whatever it is, and it changes, of course, like you said. But I'm definitely focused on the end goal, which is very interesting. But your way is a way better way to live.
No.
No, it is, because I know it is, and the reason it is because whenever I get to whatever those different destinations are, I always look back on the journey more with fondness than actually being there.
Yeah, but isn't isn't your need to be there what gave you that journey?
For sure, 100%. I couldn't have the journey, without wanting to get there so bad. Yeah. But it's like we are wired differently in that way, yeah. And I think it's just understanding that the journey is better than the destination, and savoring the journey more when you're in it.
Yeah, that's a bar. And yeah. And I gotta say, like, I don't know shit, and like nobody knows. Like I can't in good conscience like sit here and like tell anybody like what is right, or like what their path is, or if it's better to follow a destination or a journey. Like yeah. I don't know. Like I think it would be completely wrong for me to influence anybody into saying go one or the other. But yeah. I think exploring both is like, yeah, that's like, I would say important.
Like we said at the beginning, learn from your mistakes.
Dude.
Try the destination way.
Yeah.
If you fail, try the journey way. Yeah, for sure. All right, where can people find out more about you and your music and all that? Do the plug. And all the links to what he plugs are going to be down there, so do it.
My Instagram is a great way to do it. It's Wesley Phipps, not Phillips. Phipps with an underscore at the end. That's not right. Don't confuse the children. And yeah, all my stuff is going to be there, and I post a lot about the things that I do.
And you're going to be on like Spotify and Apple Music and all that
It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. I'm releasing one single. It's called Drive to Ohio on September 26th. And then I'll release a couple more, and then the EP will be here.
Sweet.
But yeah, it'll be a good time.
Worst of it, right?
Worst of it.
Yep. Go stream it. All right. Bye, everyone. Wesley, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Solomon. You're a beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you, dude.
Heck yeah. Bye, everyone.